Hi everybody, this is Prodigy ENG, or Joe. Most of you know me as Prodigy V2 on Twitter. Now this is a bit of a different video, just some things I want to get off my chest, and I thought this would be the best way to do it. I've seen a few of my friends write blogs on their mental health struggles and stuff like that, and what they've and how they've sort of improved. But for me, video is sort of the best form of articulating myself and getting myself across. So no tennis with Joe at the moment, but that next episode of that will be out soon. So please do stay tuned. But in this video, I want to just sort of open up and get some things off my chest because there's a lot of pent up frustration, anger, things that I want to talk about that I think talking to a camera will help. Some mental health issues. So I think the first time I really started noticing them was back in sort of 2010, 11, 12, around my sixth form time and university time. Now, I didn't know what it was at that time. I thought it was just nerves, and I thought I was shy and stuff like that, which is normal. Everyone gets those nerves and everyone gets shy, but I was just kind of in my shell. I wasn't able to come out of my shell really, especially at university, and it was difficult a lot of the time, just because of my mind, and there was something sort of holding me back, which was a struggle. I'll admit that. I did have learning difficulties, and I did get help for that, but there was no sort of help for my anxiety, my depression. Now, 2013, I believe it was, I got diagnosed for having Asperger's. If you don't know what Asperger's syndrome is, it's basically means you're on the autistic spectrum. There's a spectrum there's a lot of different levels now. Asperger's are quite high functioning people on the autistic spectrum. So there's levels to the spectrum, but most people on the spectrum struggle some way, some form or another with social interaction. So when I got that diagnosis, I kind of thought this kind of explains why I've kind of struggled being shy and stuff like that. But in another sense, it made me angry. I was 19, 20 when I did found out earlier. It was very frustrating, and I wasn't perfect as a child, and obviously into my teens, into my adult years, I did have lots of struggles, and I was just quite frustrated that it took as long as it did to find out what was sort of the issue, the underlying issue. So I got angry because like all the help and stuff that was available, it was difficult for me to kind of get that help and support because I had lots of other things going on in my life. I had university that I was at quite often, and then after university finished, I had work, so I didn't really have the time to go to sort of any sessions and stuff to kind of learn about Asperger's more and how to deal with it, how to deal and cope with social situations. But shit happens. So, but that's one thing that did make me angry and frustrated. Now in 2014, I think that's where I kind of got more of an idea of what was going on. For me now, I was able to get my first ever job at Vodafone as a sales assistant. I'm still working there, and I absolutely love it. But on the week of my induction, I had chest pains, and there was an element of chest infection there. The doctors did confirm that, but at the same time, when the infection was clearing up, I was still having the chest pains, and they said, "Oh, you do have anxiety," and I was prescribed beta blockers and beta blockers and citalopram. I don't know what the difference is between them, but that's what was prescribed. So I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense. But I mean, even around that time, I was having episodes of feeling lonely and like crying before I sleep. You know, I'm not afraid to admit that I cry. I cried then. I still cry now sometimes before my sleep because of depression and the feeling of loneliness. I'm not afraid to admit that. All people cry. Most people cry anyway. But you know, that's kind of when it hit home to me that things weren't as sort of fine and dandy as they seem. So so that was kind of the same time I was crying before bed, and I wasn't feeling motivated or anything. But thankfully, getting the job kind of masked my feelings, because you know I'd been looking for a job all throughout my university time, and you know it was a big sort of relief for me to get a job. I didn't expect to get one so soon after university. You know, I was only signed on the dole, or job seekers, if you want to be politically correct. I was only signed on for like 2 months. So it was something I was very proud of. So yeah, that was kind of when it all hit home. You know, I've had quite a lot of health struggles, which I think in the back of my head do contribute. You know, it's hard to pinpoint if they do or not, but I think it does cause some sort of pain and anguish towards me. You know, I am thankful that, in comparison, I don't want to sound like I don't know how to put this. I don't want to sound like I'm saying, "Oh yeah, I've got all these things," because I know there's a lot of people out there that are worse off than me, and I'm grateful that, you know, I can walk, I can talk, I can see, I can smell, I can hear. Very grateful for that, and I'm not trying to say, "Oh yeah, I've got it bad," because I know I don't. But the health issues that I had, you know, I have sort of a lot of appointments I have to go to. You know, the Asperger's didn't help. This was probably the main health issue that kicked it off, actually, that I haven't mentioned yet. I had delayed puberty, which is still something I don't really like talking about, but for the sake of this video, thought I'd mention it. So this was the sort of first like health issue that I started having to go hospital appointments for and everything. So yeah, the delayed puberty, I only started really getting treatment for it when I was like 15, 16. You know, I should have got it earlier, and that's one thing that does make me angry. I'm not angry at anyone, because, you know, some people are later than others, but it got to an age where I wasn't developing and stuff like that. And that's one thing that, you know, plays on my mind a lot. It's not easy, because, you know, everyone wants to. Thankfully, I've got beard and everything now, but everyone wants to have a beard and look older and stuff like that. And, you know, to see all my friends kind of having this development, and I wasn't. I was like, "What's wrong with me?" Stuff like that. I told my parents. They kind of brushed it off and said, "Oh yeah, it'll happen." As I said, I don't have any ill will towards them. But I had to have treatment for that. I had to have hormone injections. So that was kind of frustrating, but it sort of did the job. But I was told, because it's stunted my development, I was told that might not be able to have kids. And I think that's one thing that's sort of always played on my mind. You know, I'd fucking love to have a family. You know, that's always something that I've wanted. You know, to have kids, get married, have my own place, stuff like that. That's definitely something I want, and I've wanted it since I was younger. That's always been like the goal in life. Obviously not the only goal, but one of the goals. And, you know, to be told by a doctor that might not happen is quite, you know, it's quite disheartening. But yeah, that's been something that's been hard for me to deal with. Just you try to see the positives of it, though. There is sort of treatments out there and stuff that can help maybe get childbirth in the future, but you never know. And the other sort of health issues, I've got asthma sort of under control. I've got nasal polyps that are just so annoying. You don't know how many hospital appointments I've been done trying to get surgery for it. And they just keep fobbing me off and fobbing me off. It's a struggle to try and get appointments when you're looking for, when you're working 40 hours a week. It's a struggle to get appointments, and then they cancel it all the time. I know I need surgery. I've known for 2 years I need surgery, maybe even longer. I've done research on the subject, but these clinics are just fob you off, and that's another thing that stresses me out. I've got flat feet, but thankfully I'm dealing with that quite well. My weight, again, that's a lot of it is my fault. I'll openly admit. I'm lazy. I eat a lot of food, but a lot of that eating food is for comfort reasons. But I'll hold my hand up and admit that that's something I should do more about. But again, when you're feeling down and depressed and stuff like that, it's hard to get into a sort of pattern to do the exercise. I've struggled for a while, and yeah, it's tough. One of the main things might sound stupid, but the search for love, I've just always struggled with it. Maybe it's because of my Asperger's and awkwardness. Probably because of my weight as well. People say looks don't matter, but they do matter. And again, it's my fault, but I do struggle. I do think it's struggle because of that. But I'm 25 now. I've only been on a date with one person, and that didn't end well. So it's one thing that always plays on my mind, because I know it's not. I know I've got time. I'm still young, but every year goes on, I'm fucking battling myself in my head. Like, I'm getting older and older, and if I do have kids, I'm going to be like 70 when they're in the teens. I'm not 70, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but I'm scared that I'll get to an age that I can't sort of like do the sporty things like I remember like playing football and tennis and stuff like that with my dad. He's in his 50s. He's still young in my opinion, but I'm scared I'll have kids when I'm an age, and I won't be able to do that with my kids, and it's scary. And I wanna start a family, and I wanna get a place with someone that's my soulmate. But I just sort of have a mental block with it. I've approached girls before. I've said I like them and stuff like that, but just never been attracted to them. It just never seemed to work out, which is frustrating. And they do say you need to love yourself before others can love you, but it's a bit of a strange one to me. I get where people are coming from with that, but at the same time, it's one of those, people loving you is, in my opinion, helps you to be happy, which is it's hard. It is hard. I'll admit that. Now it's difficult, but nothing more I can say on that subject. Really, I just wish that I could find someone. I'm not bad looking. I've got plenty to offer. I'm not using this as an advertisement, by the way. I'm just kind of venting and getting what I need to off my chest. Again, with the family kind of stuff, the delayed puberty issue and the fertility issue, it's kind of that plays on the back of my mind. Relationships, I don't know if that adds to the mental block a bit, but I don't know. Another thing, medication. I've had beta blockers. I've had the citalopram, and I'll admit I haven't took it really in the past sort of year or so. I don't think they work that well. You know, maybe I need to get my dose rechecked. It could be an idea, but I'll be openly honest. I think the one sort of drug that's helped me a lot is cannabis. I'm not afraid to admit that. You know, plenty of people do it. Um, it's something that's helped me a lot. I've been doing it since February. I don't do it all the time, but you know, if I'm feeling down and I vape it, I don't smoke it. If I have a session on my vape, it just kind of clears all the negativity from my mind. My mind's sort of like it's hard to explain. It's just relaxed. There's no anxious thoughts. There's no feeling in my chest or anything. I just feel relaxed. I mean, I could still think. I'll, I'll still have conversations, but it just doesn't. Negativity just doesn't enter my mind when I'm high. And you know, I'm not the only one that's admitted to that. You know, there's a famous sports commentator, Mauro Ranallo. He has bipolar, and he says that he medicates with cannabis, and he said that prescriptions, pharmaceuticals haven't helped, and cannabis is the one drug that has helped. And I totally understand why. You know, people say, "Oh, it can cause schizophrenia and stuff like that," and I'll say it can. I'm not going to deny that, but if you sort of handle it correctly and monitor your usage, it's more helpful than it is harmful, in my opinion. And if the government regulated it and legalized it, it'd be much better. But that's for another video. I just thought I'd say that. And you know, I always have sort of the feeling when I'm in work sometimes, you know, you're serving a customer and you just feel, I don't know if anyone's had the feeling before, so if you have, just tell me. I have like just lots of thoughts in my mind and I feel weird. It's like a racing rush of sort of anxiety. It's hard to explain, you know, when you're serving a customer and your thoughts are all over the place and it's hard to get through, but you know, it's tough to deal with. I don't think people realise that I'm in work 8 hours a day and I'm serving customers, all sorts of different people. You know, some people that are straightforward and easy, that helps. You know, there's some people that are just like, it's so hard to read and it's like it's just so difficult. And with my Asperger's, it's tough, but you know, I've talked about all the negative things, you know, and I just want to get that off my chest. But considering where I have been, and some people might disagree, but I mean, I believe I have made some improvements and I have made some sort of strides to get better. You know, it's not easy, and this is my video sort of saying it's okay to not be okay, and maybe just give people the hope that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You know, on the back of talking about the difficulty at work with my mental health, I believe that's helped me as well. You know, I never thought I would be in a role where I was serving customers and dealing with the queries and selling stuff. It's a job where you have to think a lot. And you know, use your mind to get sales on the board and stuff like that. So in a way, I'm proud of myself for being to be able to do that. You know, I think sometimes being under pressure for people like myself, and I'm not saying it can work for all people with mental health difficulties. I know for a fact it won't, but for some, maybe like myself, definitely, if you throw yourself in at the deep end, I don't think I specifically did that, and it's something I hope I can do in the future. You know, I started off in a big store, and my performances weren't the best for multiple reasons. I got moved into a smaller store. I had more time to learn, and then the bigger store, which is sort of around the corner, that closed. And so the customer, the footfall that would have usually gone to the big store was coming into the smaller store, which I'd been moved into. You know, that kind of pressure, it could have broken me, but instead it made me in that sort of in the company. You know, I just got comfortable with doing that kind of role when I was put under pressure, had no time to breathe. It was customer after customer after customer. And at the time, I'll admit, I felt like total shit when I was serving so many people in a row. But on the flip side, it was because I had no time to think. It was giving me a chance to learn the systems, learn techniques of selling and stuff like that. So in a way, that situation kind of really helped. And yeah, I was very thankful for that in a way, because, at that time was 20 hours a week. And I went from that to doing 30 hours and then 40 hours because of my performances. I was sort of top advisor in the region and in the division. And, for someone with what I'd have and with what I go through, I'm not saying there isn't other people in the company that have the same things. I know there is. But for me, if I'm not comparing myself to others, it's something I'm definitely proud of, that there's like lots of people in the region, in the division as well, North Division. I was top of that at one point, and it's something I'm definitely proud of. So that's helped me a lot mentally, especially talking to people and having conversations. And I'm going out on social. Blocked me from doing that in the past, but now it's kind of an afterthought, which is great. And then another thing which is kind of really helping me, I'm really happy with, is just being involved in the tennis community. I play tennis at my local club, and that's just one of the parts that I like and enjoy, talking to people. I'm opening up more, and then just being involved in like watching it and everything like that. Tennis, like through Twitter, unfortunately, not many of my friends that I know in person like tennis on the level I do. But I mean, I've kind of become obsessed with it, which people with Asperger's, autism can become obsessed with specific subjects. And, maybe some don't like that, but I'm fucking glad that I have become that obsessed with the sport, because it's helped me so much. I'm making friends from all around the world. I'm becoming friendly with players, with umpires, with people who are commentators, stuff like that. Just building up a network of friends, and people are like so kind and welcoming and what's the word? Encouraging of my passion. Like-minded people. No one in the tennis world has really said, no, you shouldn't be a fan and stuff. You people have just encouraged me, and that's what I fucking love about it. I travel to these events, people are recognizing me, and it's crazy. It makes me feel so happy when I'm at tennis events or watching tennis. I feel so happy. I'm over the moon, and that's why my end goal is, one of my end goals is to work in tennis. And I'm so fucking confident about being able to work in tennis. I've set myself a goal. Within 2 years, I'm going to be working in tennis. And if I'm not working in tennis within 2 years, anyone, I'll pick random person, anyone who likes this video, anyone who comments on this video, anyone who comments on a permalink on Facebook or Twitter, whatever, excuse me, I'll give a random person out of that list £50 if I'm not working within tennis within 2 years. That's how confident I am. I love it. I love the sport, and it's helped me. Look at me when I talk about it. I go from being this fucking down, depressed person to, being so happy, and it's kind of why I want to work in that environment, because it does make me happy, and I forget all my worries. I understand that when I work in tennis, there will still be issues. I'm not saying they won't. I'm still struggling with my relationship things potentially and stuff like that. But if I'm in an environment that makes me happy, it'll make me happier in other things. And and sort of, you know, help me open up more. So yeah, I'm definitely happy to be involved with the tennis community, and I am going to be working with it within 2 years. So I'm just kind of going to close it up now. You know, like I said, there was a lot of issues that I wanted to get off my chest, but I am getting better. You know, I've started counselling. I did have a bit of a lapse last week where I did cut my arms, but kind of a one-off thing because I was just angry and I needed to let some anger out. But done that once and hopefully never again. But you know, I'm receiving counselling. My counsellor understands me so well. I struggle a bit to articulate myself in the sessions, and that is why I have made this video, just to talk about things that maybe wouldn't have talked about in the sessions. But you know, my counsellor does understand me, and it's helpful to, you know, look at things in a different way. I won't go into it too much because there's a lot of things I need to kind of assess and stuff, but I do struggle to articulate myself sometimes in those sessions. But that's why I'm not doing it. That's why I'm not mentioning that in the video. Sorry, that's why I'm doing this video. I got there eventually, but yeah, I feel much better than I have in the past. You know, the crying episodes are not as much, and I'm not perfect. I mean, one thing I will mention is that I do sometimes when I'm talking to people I consider friends, I talk too much about myself, my problems, and that's something that I wish I hadn't done. And if I have done it to you in the past, I am sorry. It's a way of getting my feelings out, and you know, if people are taking the time to talk to me, that's when I open up, you know, because I feel sometimes people aren't talking to me, but you know, it's just a thing that's in my mind. But you know, I do care about other people. I do care about my friends, and you know, if I am talking too much about my mental health, just tell me, because I don't want to become a burden on people's lives and stuff like that. My friends, I want to be friends. I want to talk about normal stuff. I want to do normal stuff. So please just let me know. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm just kind of signing off. A lot of people in this world do struggle with mental health illnesses. You know, there's people that are worse off than myself. But I do believe that everyone has the potential to make the most out of what they have got, like make the most out of the abilities. You know, these mental health issues can get the best of you. They have of me in the past. But everyone who's struggling, just remember you are awesome. You're amazing. There is things that you are great at, and my advice to you, if you are struggling, if you're feeling lonely, if you're contemplating self-harm, if you're contemplating suicide, just get help if you can. I know it's difficult to ask for help, but just if you can take that step, it gets so much better. And if you're unable to do that, find other ways of, you know, getting the best out of yourself if it's possible. You know, for me, it was the tennis thing. Maybe there's something for you out there as well. You know, if anyone wants to talk, I'm always available. You know, I put my social media links in the description, my Twitter, or you can contact me on YouTube. A lot of you got me on Facebook, whatever. Just get in touch with me. I'm happy to talk. You know, I've been through it. I know what it's like. It's horrible, but the fact is, it's okay to not be okay. There's a lot of people that aren't okay, and there's a lot of stigma around the fact, especially for men. You know, men are called all sorts for crying. There's like, people say it's masculine. It's not masculine if you cry and stuff like that, and that's why suicide rates in men are so high. That's why so many men self-harm. But the excuse me, but there is you're not a bad person for feeling the way you do. And if, like I said, just don't feel bad because you feel bad. I know it's a bit of a weird one, but if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling down, don't think to yourself, "Oh, I'm useless because I'm feeling depressed," because it gets into a cycle. It gets worse, and I know that very well myself. So just remember, there's people out there that do care for you, that do support you. As I said, if you are ever wanting to get in touch with me, just get in touch with me on one of my social channels. If you don't have me on any of my social media, I'll put my link to my Twitter. You can leave a comment, but please just get in touch, and I'll be happy to talk. There's nothing more I like to see than people pursuing the dreams, following the ambitions. I don't give a shit what you like. If you like flipping, I don't know, watching train spotting, if you like that, if you're into curling, if you're into mud wrestling, if you're into sumo wrestling, whatever, don't let society and their and your perception of the judgment they have of you stop you from doing what you love. Everyone's got a purpose on this planet, and you need to try and follow that dream if you can. But yeah, get in touch. I need to sign off now. This video's gone too long, but I wanted to open up and just tell you my story because it's helped. So thank you for watching if you've gone this far, and I appreciate it. Peace.